What's up, everyone? So, today we're going to be doing another episode of High Mind, and this is going to be something that I try to do pretty consistently. But as you guys have been seeing, I have been doing it a little bit more excessively just due to the fact that I want to keep my foot on the gas. I want to strike while the iron is hot, if you know what I mean. So, let me give you a little bit of a summary of what is to come in the near future. I actually definitely will be having a lot of interviews and a lot of content that is related to cannabis. So if you are someone who is interested in cannabis content, you will love the channel. I guarantee you will find something that it sparks your interest because I am doing a lot of different types of content that all somewhat revolve around cannabis. They all revolve either around cannabis, martial arts, or food. So it's stuff that if you smoke cannabis, you're most likely interested in it. So definitely we'll have a lot more interviews and similar stuff like that coming in the near future. But also we'll have some more reviews coming. As you guys just have seen, I just posted a review of the headband from J Plant Speaker. This is a strain that I actually spent $600. $600 for a zip. It's amazing. It's amazing, but it it's kind of worth it. I would say check out the review to see if it was fully worth it, to see if it is something I actually give my recommendation on, because there is stuff that is worth $600, but is that one of the ones? You'll have to watch to see. With that said, though, we're also going to be getting into a little bit of a story today. I feel as if it will be kind of cool for me to come on here, start doing lives where I interact with the people, smoke one with the people, talk to the people, and maybe just tell a little bit of a story that I think the people are gonna want to hear. So today, I'm not 100% sure which one we're gonna cover. I'm debating if we're gonna cover first time I was arrested or if we're gonna cover just the first time I smoked weed. So I wanted to get people's feedback. It's not like that's gonna be possible at the moment. There is zero people in here at the moment. But what that means is that I have to prepare a little bit more proper, give people a little bit more of a fair warning on when I'm going to be doing these because I've been noticing that I am kind of a sporadic person. I'm almost impulsive to an extent. I'm someone who doesn't really plan accordingly and kind of when I'm ready, I'm ready. So it is what it is. But with that said, I'm gonna try to get more on a better scheduling program so I can actually ensure that I have people watching live because it is a little bit awkward talking when there is absolutely no one watching at the moment. So I'm gonna get past that part. I don't feel like that's even really gonna matter that much. Let's start off with just talking about the first time I smoked weed. If this one goes pretty quick, if the story goes fast, then I might just jump into the first time being arrested one as well, which isn't me recommending getting arrested, obviously. I think it's just me shining a light on how much I've grown as a human to be able to reflect on it and see that it is a funny story that I was in a foolish headspace at that moment. So let's cover the first time smoking first. The first time smoking was actually a weird time, to be honest. It was a very weird time because I was with some people who I'm not necessarily friends with now. I would say that I'm probably not necessarily going to call those people friends now, but they're definitely people who I looked at as kind of interesting characters back in the day. I still look at them as interesting people now. I would say that they are definitely people I wouldn't mind smoking one with now, but I'm not necessarily going to call them friends. Let's say it like that. But they were people who just were ready to smoke weed. So I went and we were gonna go smoke weed with them. And honestly, when I first did smoke, I was noticing that the flour obviously back then was garbage. It was garbage. And we were also smoking like I believe it was Dutch Masters or it was either Dutches or Games, which I really am hoping like hell it was not Games because that's it's just it's funny looking back on those things. Those were the just most toxic things in the world, but it's funny looking back. The flower was terrible. It was terrible. So it was funny to see. But the people who I was with the first time and were about to smoke, I guarantee you they thought that the flower was good. They probably thought it was this, that, and the third, but they didn't have a lot at all. We got scammed. We were basically back then probably getting like a point 0.8 for $10, which not necessarily scammed, but it's like it's just it's funny looking back on it because the weed was not even close to good at all, and people were getting like point 0.7s, point 0.8s in tinfoil. It was coming in tinfoil. That's what the funny thing. It was like even if you would grab like a half ounce, it would come in tinfoil. It was the weirdest looking thing, and I can't lie. People were, I mean, there was occasion. It was a very rare time that I would grab like a half ounce to a zip back in the day. You know what I mean? But when I did, I noticed that it was skimped like hell. It was definitely skimped. So it's funny looking back at that. To be honest, it's funny to see stuff like that, and then have access to what people think is the highest level. I would say that there still is levels that I haven't reached yet, but I'm just amazed, to be honest. I'm amazed to see that the flower back then was just awful, and still to this day I actually do see stuff like that still floating around. It's amazing, to be honest, but that's besides the point. That stuff, to be honest, I truly don't think it even got me high. So looking back on it, I was like wondering, I'm like, was it even weed? Was it even weed at all? Like the first couple times that I smoked, it always looked like bullshit. It looked kind of like CBD almost. And I remember not feeling anything at all. I remember just kind of feeling like I don't know, not anything at all, like nothing memorable. And I was always just being like, what are these people spending up money on this for? So after that first time or two, I think it probably was only like two times the first, like when I first started, which, mind you, I was kind of young. I was kind of young. I probably shouldn't have been smoking at this age. I hate to say it, but I was 12. I was fucking 12. It was very goofy of me back then, but I was already kind of like a, how should I word this? Kind of a open-minded kid in a way. Like I'm someone who's always kind of been like curious on like why people do this or like why it's done like that. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like cannabis was always something I've known about, and before I was just like, there's not a chance in the world I'm ever gonna smoke that shit because I always just seen it being smoked by lazy people. And then the people who I smoked with for the first time, they weren't like lazy people at all. Actually, like really decent at like skateboarding and stuff. Like people who are decent at like stuff that isn't necessarily like mainstream shit. So it was just interesting, to be honest. I always looked at it as a like just like an interesting thing that I was kind of lied to about at the beginning, which drew me in towards it, to be honest. I think that that's like something in the end, at the end of the day, I truly believe if you lie to your kids or lie to anyone enough and you tell them that this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, eventually, if they find out that that isn't bad, they're going to be like, why not try it? You know what I mean? So it's, I definitely think that that is a, how should I word it? Kind of a like double-edged sword because some things are good to tell your kids not to do, you know what I mean? But I think it's great to actually have like proof behind if you're going to tell your kid not to do this or not to do that, because if you're just telling them, "Oh, this is going to make you dumb. This is going to make you dumb." And then you see people that are very creative and very smart and actually able to maintain this high level of status or high level of income, then you start to question it, you know? But that's besides the point. So the first time I did smoke, we are all passing it around, and I possibly could have not been inhaling it right. It's very possible. Very possible. But at the same time, I was just like, this didn't do anything to me. So I don't know. I was always questioning it. I was always like seeing that there is levels to it from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because I can't lie, even in the beginning when I first seen that stuff, I was like, is it supposed to look like this? This doesn't necessarily look um this doesn't look really appealing to me, you know? I definitely think though I think that it is amazing to see the levels that it came to from there, or even from a few years ago. Seeing the levels of cannabis that it's at now is just mind blowing. I truly am blessed to have the access and to know the people that I know now, because those people that I knew then, which aren't bad people. I'm not trying to speak down upon them or anything. I just think that they're probably I don't know. Maybe I'm focused on the wrong things sometimes as well. So maybe I shouldn't even say that. I think that to each his own. We're all focused on what we are passionate about. So maybe I shouldn't even speak about that. But I definitely truly think that it's amazing to see. You know what I mean? It's amazing to see that oh yeah, yeah. Hold on, let me fully read this. It's crazy. Oh my god, I just like combined words right there. It's crazy the stereotype it's called. I do truly, yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the creativeness that you get from cannabis is it's so interesting, to be honest. I don't know. I think that like a lot of the art and the stuff that we have access to, like watching and stuff, it's only possible because of this plant, and then because of some other plants that aren't necessarily good for humans to be taking, but they take them. So they get this creative edge from these weird plants, these mystical, magical plants, which is so weird to talk about, so weird to think about, but it's real. You know what I mean? Like so it's so amazing, to be honest. But I got another one. I got another one of these sushi. It's sushi fruity. It's the yellow sushi flower with the papaya syrup rosin. I appreciate you for commenting too, though. I honestly definitely want to start doing more of these. I want to start doing these more often, and I want to set it up where I actually have guests on here as well. So if there's any guests that you guys would like me to aim to get on here, please let me know. Please let me know. I would love to make it as convenient for the viewer as possible and actually have people on that they want to hear from. You know what I'm saying? So it's a privilege that I get access to some of these people and get access to some of these opportunities. So I want to make sure that I'm not only making it cool for myself, but I'm making it dope for everyone else that's watching as well. So, you know what I mean? I'll I'll try my hardest too. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna promise anything, but I can see what I can do. You know what I mean? I also I want to. Wow, that's how you know the weed's already kicking in. I just had my elbow slip off the chair. What a weird fail to happen on camera. What's up with the people though? What you guys up to? I Jesus. Not even at the rosin yet. I'm already coughing like a little bitch. You guys know if you hold it up like this, if you hold it just like this, it will just create that oil ring. People always like act like that oil ring is like a like, oh, if I don't see an oil ring, it doesn't it's not good, but it's like you can create an oil ring. It's tricks to everything. Chief in this thing right now. Ooh. Let's cover the second topic. So the second topic was the first time I got arrested. Now here's a stupid story. Here's a stupid story I probably shouldn't even be talking about, to be honest, but I'm gonna give you guys a funny one. This one is this the first time I got arrested actually? I think so. I think this is the first time. So I was at this like house party. It was over the town over from where I live, and it was at like a rich kid's house, like a super super rich kid's house, and like shout out to the rich people, you know what I mean? But it was just a interesting environment, and I can't lie, I was bringing some stuff I probably should not have been bringing, if you know what I mean. I also brought some other stuff, and I definitely brought some weed too, you know what I mean? So I shouldn't have been bringing stuff like that. I shouldn't have been having stuff like that. And I was at an age where I was thinking that doing stuff like that was like kind of cool, you know what I mean? And it wasn't, obviously, definitely wasn't cool. But I don't know. We were all my friend group, my little crew at that time was kind of like a just interesting characters. We were interesting characters. Let's leave it at that. But honestly, like the situation was funny because realistically, like I don't know. As I just mentioned, I was moving like an idiot, being an idiot. But I oh, so the cops basically come. I wasn't there for like super long. I was still kind of waiting on a few people. One of the people I was actually waiting on basically got there like almost the same time as the cops are getting there. And it was very weird because the cops get there, everyone runs out the back. I'm one of the people who runs out the back. We're all running out the back. And we go through this like woods part, and there's people like getting all caught in thorns, like all that type of weird shit. People are getting hurt and stuff. You know what I mean? It was funny because like realistically, everyone was just acting a fool, and truthfully, I was just young and dumb at the moment too, so it was just fun. But looking back on it, it wasn't fun. You know what I mean? It wasn't fun or any of that. But how should I say this? We are like waiting in the woods and just acting stupid. I don't know how to like spice this up to make it not sound just stupid. The whole thing was stupid, to be honest. I don't know. That's like the looking back on it, like at the age that I'm at now and like the level of maturity I'm at now, I see stuff like this and I'm just like, ah, damn it. Like, why was I ever, I don't know, why was I ever thinking this was the like smart thing to be doing? But, I don't know. Looking back on it, it's like I feel as if things like this were super necessary for me to learn and become the person who I am today, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, like, we were just in the woods. We were waiting out in the woods. And, like, the second we got out of the woods, the fucking cops zoom up on us. And I, um, I don't know. Waited out for a minute. They, like, start trying to ask us questions and shit. And I just ran off. And what do you think happened? Do you think I got away? You guys think I got away? Nope. They they um they tackled me and it was like looking back on it, it was probably so easy. You know what I mean? I was such an idiot back then, like slow back then and shit, but now just looking back on it, it was funny as hell because I don't know. The whole thing I put myself into, you know what I mean? Like back in like the mindset I was in then, I used to always think like, oh, everyone's out to get me. Everyone, you know what I mean? It was like I was out to get myself. I was putting myself in the stupidest situations, and it was to get nothing out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, oh yeah, nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. Whatever I got out of it, I didn't get to save. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it actually lasted any certain amount of time where it was reasonable or worth it in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just funny. I think that like all of that stuff is very necessary for some kids though. I truly believe like some people have to lose to learn, and that's how I was able to find out how to get these centered up, you know what I'm saying? By a lot of miscalculations. But in the bigger picture, I think a lot of people there's a lot of people that are smarter than that already. They see how to use other people's losses as lessons, but someone like me, I had to lose a lot to learn a little over time, a little, and finally was able to slap myself in the face a couple times with experiences with shrooms and shit. I can't lie, which sounds probably stupid to like the normal man because like shrooms made you wake up, but like kind of, kind of that funky boss. I'm at the rosin. I'm like talking this thing. I can't believe this thing's been going for 20 minutes and I'm just at the rosin now. It's amazing. I haven't been hitting it that much though. How's that funky boss? Where'd you get it from? Did you get it from a Massachusetts brand? Cause I had the funky boss from I can't even remember at this point. I'm higher than high right now. I'm like too hot right now. This shit's wild. This shit's actually centered up right now. I kind of want to take a photo. This shit's it's hard to center this shit up. I can't lie to you guys. Anyone that's tried to roll a fucking hash hole in their life, you guys know this shit's fucking. It's not easy. From Millbury. Do you know what the dispensary's called? I think that I know it. Dispensary in Millbury. I can't lie, but my memory is terrible right now. Oh yeah, it is perfect. Honestly, I need to start checking out some more dispensaries in the cultivars. Oh well, I need to start checking out some more dispensaries in Massachusetts. I been in talks with a few of them about doing interviews, and I have at least two of them. Oh yeah, House of Cultivar. I've heard of them. Yeah, I don't know if I've tried. Maybe that's who. Do you know if that's who the funky boss that I smoked was from? Because at this point, I forget. All I do know is I should actually have some interviews coming with some local brands. I'm not gonna drop any names yet, just because I want to actually record the videos before. I've I've made that mistake in the past where I've announced things too early and it just becomes a little shit show. So I'm gonna wait, but you guys should see that I have some interviews coming with at least two of like the bigger dispensaries. One of them I would say is the best, like the best one in Massachusetts. So you guys probably know exactly who I'm speaking about. But you'll see. Like it's gonna be interesting because as you guys see, my style is a little bit different. I'm kind of more like I don't know. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna ask anything I want to ask. I don't know if you guys checked out my other interviews yet, but those ones I have to improve from those as well. I feel as though I feel as if those ones a good good ones for me to learn from, but at the same time I definitely I want to start branching out. I want to start doing not only like cannabis ones, but also just interesting ones that are related to cannabis in some ways, but also just related to other creative things, you know? That's why realistically, if there's like a even like a rapper, if there's a anyone, you know what I mean? I did one interview a while back with a rapper. It's my boy, to be honest. It's not really like someone that I even like kind of like look at as a rapper, but he makes good music. I think he has a lot of potential. I think a lot of people out here in Massachusetts honestly have like a lot of potential. So that's one thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is finding some sort of way to do some sort of event where it's not only like cannabis brands and shit because that's like obvious, but like also artists and different people from Massachusetts and not necessarily just do the best of the best, but kind of like aim to have like only the best of the best, if you guys know what I'm trying to say, and to have like a real quality control on it where it's not necessarily people just bringing like this weird goofy bag where it's like some girl getting jizzed on her face or some shit like it where it's actually like real creative shit. It's not like actual porn on bags. You know what I'm trying to say? I think it would be dope to see, but it's gonna take some time. I think that the market in Massachusetts kind of has to evolve a bit. From what I see, it's It's doing good. It's doing good. I'm not gonna just look at the negatives. I see some positives as well. But I think being able to notice room for improvement is key to growth. I think everyone knows that as human beings. Yes, sir. I've actually done some reviews of shrooms, actually. I did a few different reviews on different strains of shrooms, to be honest, because there's actually these really, really high end levels of shrooms. Look at my fucking eyes. I just noticed like one of my eyes blinked, the other one didn't. Jesus, I might have to put this thing out. But fucking yeah, the shrooms. There's like some really high level ones like Jack Frost. I don't know if you ever heard of Jack Frost. Not necessarily recommending them, but there's like a strain called Jack Frost. They're like insanely potent, insanely potent. It's wild. There's a bunch of different strains of shrooms that a lot of people aren't even like necessarily aware of yet. And I'm saying that because I only became aware of them recently. So I assume a lot of people are probably not aware of them, but maybe they are. I don't know. But what I do know is there's like a lot of different strains of shrooms, just like there's a lot of different strains of cannabis, and they have crazy effects, just like the different strains of cannabis do. And a lot of people aren't even aware about that in the sense with cannabis. It's like a lot of people are just kind of fans of like the candy wave right now. They see like all candy is kind of like all it does is it's like the same thing. A lot of the candy doesn't really, there's no real difference. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think that people will learn soon. There's a lot of OGs that are coming back. Like I have some OG that I just got recently. It was a blessing to be able to get the access to it, and honestly, it's amazing to see because the stuff it gets you more than just high. You know what I mean? It's stuff that will really give you effects that is like amazing to see, which is just wild. But to answer your question before going back to the shrooms, yes, shrooms are very beneficial for everyone, in my opinion. I think shrooms are definitely something that people need to try at least once. I would say that shrooms are something that I'm not recommending it to people that are in an illegal state, if you know what I mean, but try shrooms. um yes, Massachusetts, if I'm recommending anyone, the person that I would say the best brand in Massachusetts is Tower 3. Tower 3 100%. It's a brand that's growing living soil. They're doing it in under HBS lights, as far as I know, and they're doing it proper. As far as I know, everything that they're doing is as good as you can do it for legal cannabis, which is amazing to see. To be honest, it's crazy to see it because they have teaming with Terps, who is a very phenomenal breeder, grower, and just a good person. He is their head cultivator over at Teaming with Tarps now, or over at Tower 3 now. And he has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of access to crazy strains. He is a breeder who actually bred this strain called Butterwolf, which is um peanut butter breath times Swamp Thing. I believe it's either Swamp, something like that. I could be wrong, but Tower 3. Tower 3 is definitely one that I recommend. So Tower 3, I believe, might just only sell to dispensaries. I'm not 100% positive. I could be wrong. they might just sell to dispensaries, but if you follow their Instagram page, they actually like always are shouting out the different dispensaries that have their stuff. Like there's people who have their stuff in where would it be? Like Brockton, all the different towns, they have their stuff, but it's definitely it's more of a select brand. Like I can't lie to you, it's a brand that runs out kind of quick. Like I can't lie, good weed will go fast. Like I've noticed all that the stuff that goes fast. Like it goes pretty fast. Like it sucks to say, but even the stuff that I'm shopping for on the black market is it's going fast. It's amazing to see, but like there's brands like Tornado Terps, there's brands like I can't think of like Mr. Cushington, like brands like that are charging very high numbers on the black market right now, like double to triple what people are paying on the legal market, and they're selling out in, like the next day. It's amazing. It's amazing to see right now, but the demand on really high end good cannabis is it's through the roof. It's people want it bad right now. So it's dope to see. I'm very happy to see it. Honestly, like the game's improved so much. So I appreciate everyone that's actually doing what they can to support pages like mine or just support brands that are actually doing shit proper because that actually that gives a motivation to anyone that actually sees quality as a as their aim or just quality as an overall goal. That's one thing I can't really recommend to you. I honestly haven't smoked any dispensary weed in a long, long time. So if I was giving you recommendations, I don't know what they're doing nowadays. So I just hate to give you a recommendation, have you go get some shit, and then it just not be what I had. You know what I mean? Like I've seen so many brands, and I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot right now, but I'm gonna be honest. Harbor House. There's a dope brand called Harbor House. They were growing some decent weed at one point. I don't know how fast or why they fell off, but they started kind of aiming towards rosin, like just growing to turn the stuff into rosin, and the quality of their cannabis flower dropped drastically. It just like was impossible to smoke their weed because it was just boof. It was nonsense. But um saying that, I'm trying to say that I can't give like recommendations on something that I smoked a year ago or like a brand I smoked like over a year or even 2 months ago if it's not necessarily going to be something that I really want to back up. You know what I mean? I just don't want to have people think that I think boof is good. You know what I mean? So if you go try it and it's terrible, you're like, this dude must smoke trash. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But yeah, Harbor House, I would say it's like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I just think that like there is levels to cannabis. There's levels to hamburgers. There's levels to water. There's literally levels to water. Like the water bottles that you would get, it's amazing to say, but like this water is probably not good for me. It's probably not good for me at all, but it's kind of like the most affordable option at the moment, which as you see, it's insanely expensive for anything that's actually quality or anything that's actually supposed to go into your body right now, which kind of is an interesting thing to think about, but it's also just reality. So it's like something that I don't know. I think that people kind of have to be more realistic. Like some of the stuff that you're getting from dispensaries, if they're not fully going into detail on how they're growing it and giving you information and actually educating you on it, then you might have to be worried about it just because like some of the stuff that even from the legal market, they're like remediating it and doing all these like weird things to get the mold off of it and doing all these like weird processes to make it even look better than it is. Like I know there's a lot of dispensaries that are just selling people light depths, like stuff that is not even like really healthy to smoke. It's easy to keep reproducing, producing at a high speed, but it's not like medicine. It's not ever going to be able to be put on the medical market for a good reason. It's recreational weed. It's easy to grow weed, you know what I mean? It's just fast food, you know? But it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't want to even hear that. You know what I mean? Like people will sign off right when I start telling people about how there's some weed that's fast food and then there's some weed that's actually quality food that will fill you up, you know what I mean? Just like how you if you go eat a meal from say if you eat a meal from McDonald's, you're not going to feel full. Like you might feel full for 30 minutes, and then you're going to have a stomach ache, you're going to feel weird. But if you go eat a meal from think of whatever real good burger spot comes to your brain, that actually might fill you up for a few hours, make you feel full for a few hours, and make you not hungry for another few hours, which is very just is what it is. Like you see that the stuff that's commercial and easy to produce, it's easy to produce for a reason. It's not necessarily real. It's basically synthetic and it's able to be mass produced at a very fast speed because it's just really terrible for you. So I think filling yourself up with that and even smoking that is just very not it's not good for the long term. So you see if you're able to put something out halfway through or if you're able to just smoke a little bit and feel the effects, I think that is the best option. I think that you shouldn't even have to roll up something like this. You know what I mean? Like to be honest, at the end of the day, real high grade weed is gonna do damage. You know what I mean? It's gonna do damage. So I truly do believe people have to do more research and even myself, I'm still in the learning process. I don't know it all. I know absolutely the furthest thing from it all. And I think that's one of the most powerful things that I do know is that I need to learn more. So I'm in that process. And I think that anyone following this page is probably in that process as well. If you are subscribed to this page and actually following along to this page, you probably want the better for yourself, which I really respect you for. At the end of the day, I think that anyone out here that is searching for knowledge is a powerful person that will have great things come to them in the future. So, respect to you. But with that said, yes, top shelf versus mids and all that nonsense. It's like it is what it is. I think that some people kind of have to smoke the cheaper shit because they can't afford this $600 ounces, which I can't afford the $600 ounces. I shouldn't be spending that right now. I think that it's like kind of a interesting investment right now. Like spending money like that on an ounce is like kind of smart right now because it's like a long term play. Like maybe I'll get a bunch of views on it. Maybe I'll make my money back. Probably not. But if you don't try, you don't win. Or if you don't try, you don't ever even get the chance to win. So why not try? You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm debating about it. I'm probably gonna have to do some talking to with some people who maybe work at dispensaries or people that I know that are like tied in with some dispensaries because I want to see which brands are actually worth it to try because I've wasted a lot of money going to dispensaries. I can't lie to you guys. Like it's amazing to see some of like the cheaper stuff that you can get from Humboldt County will get you high as hell, get you super, super high. And realistically, it's not necessarily, it's basically like the same prices you're spending at the dispensary. So it's like in the long run, what's more worth it? You know what I mean? I will try some dispensaries though. If you have any recommendations, if there's one that you have been seeing consistently doing amazing work, let me know because I'm trying to do reviews again, but I'm not trying to just only do negative ones because the negative ones bring a lot of emotional people in my DMs and that consumes a lot of my time. I don't want to deal with that. See, you know what I mean. If you have access to any of the black market shit, which I think everyone does, if you know how to approach people the right way in the DMs, then people will respond to you. You know what I mean? I just noticed a lot of people kind of approach it kind of weird. You know what I mean? They kind of approach it like cops, or they approach it like they are owed something. You know what I mean? So I think that like, people just if they uh, talk right to people, they can get stuff that they would be very amazed by. That's dope. Honestly, I want to actually start like checking out dispensaries, maybe even like just get like a part-time job over at one. I feel like it would be perfect for me right now. Like the work I'm doing at the moment, kind of for the birds. I feel like it's not good in the long term. But working at like a little dispensary, some shit would be fire right now. I just know so much about this plant in a weird way, but having me at a dispensary probably could be a liability for some people at the same time. I'm very opinionated, which not a lot of people like. That's why it's interesting to me. Like, if I actually get these interviews done properly, I feel as if it will be very good for the people. I'm not only someone who is opinionated, but I feel as if I kind of reason with myself and reason with everyone else at the same time. I'm not necessarily a biased and opinionated person, or I try not to be. I try my hardest not to be. You know what I mean? So that's what I kind of felt like would be good for doing reviews is the fact that I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh my god, this is so good just because this guy gave me it or just because you know what I mean? Like I feel like that is a very hard thing to listen to or anything, which at the end of the day I don't know. I do think like I think reviews are an interesting thing in the bigger picture. They are kind of opinions, but it's hard. It's definitely hard. I think that it's interesting when you do see a lot of people's opinions line up and you see like people agree upon like one strain being or just like batch from this one grower not being up to the level that last the batches from the same grower was the last round. You know what I mean? Like it's very interesting because I was just talking to one girl. I'm not gonna say the name because this is like a compliment within not being a compliment, because I told him that like the stuff that I got from him last time I didn't like, and the stuff that I got this time was actually really nice, which is weird. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that is super dope for the person to hear because it like it's motivating, but it's also kind of like, damn, like he didn't like the last stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Damn it. Might just cut it off at the hour mark, but at this point, it seems as if there's not really going to be much more people coming in here at this point. I feel as if one thing I'm gonna need to start doing and being a little bit more prepared with is giving people a little bit of a notice on when I'm going to be doing these. So I do appreciate anyone who has tuned into this one. This one has been a very interesting one, I guess. It was dope for me to be able to come here and cover these topics that were kind of interesting, I guess. I'll let you guys let me know about that. I don't know if that was interesting, but I definitely would love to start doing these more often. So much appreciation to everyone that joined this, and much respect. See you guys next time.